The Declaration. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of the Earth Defense Force headquarters, watching the sunset paint Tokyo's skylines in hues of gold and crimson. The peace of the moment shattered as every screen in the command center suddenly flickered to life, broadcasting the same message in the standardized Galactic script. By decree of the Galactic Council, all human forces are hereby banned from participating in the upcoming conflict. Any violation will result in immediate sanctions. This is non-negotiable. The command center erupted in chaos. Officers rushed between stations, communications channels overflowed with urgent messages, and the air grew thick with tension. But Chen remained still, her reflection in the viewport betraying no emotion despite the storm brewing inside her. "Commander." Lieutenant Raj Patel's voice cut through the noise. "The council representatives are refusing to provide any explanation. They've cut all diplomatic channels." Chen turned from the viewport, her dark eyes scanning the room. 20 years of military service had taught her to read between the lines, and something about this declaration felt wrong. The timing was too precise, too calculated. "Get me Admiral Zhou," she ordered, striding to the central command table. The holographic display showed the positions of Earth's fleet, nearly 300 ships, all now effectively grounded by a single transmission. The Admiral's weathered face appeared on the main screen, his expression grim. "Commander Chen, I assume you've received the declaration." "Yes, sir, but there's more to this than they're telling us." The Arcturus campaign was about to turn in our favor. The joint exercises with the Centaurian fleet proved we could integrate seamlessly with alien battle groups. Why ban us now? Zhao's image flickered as he leaned forward. "I've just received something from an old contact in the Regelian archives. Sending it now. Security classification Omega 9. Chen's neural implant pinged as the data package arrived. As she processed it, her eyes widened. The file contained fragments of an ancient document, predating Earth's first contact with alien civilizations by several centuries. "Subject species exhibits dangerous potential," she read aloud. "Unprecedented neural synchronization observed during crisis events. Recommend immediate implementation of containment protocols." Lieutenant Patel looked up from his station. "Commander, we're detecting unusual activity in the Kuiper Belt. Multiple ships dropping out of FTL, Council signatures." Chen's mind raced. The pieces were starting to fit together, forming a picture she didn't like. "They're not just banning us from the war," she said slowly. "They're afraid of us." But why now? What changed? The answer came from an unexpected source. Dr. Maya Lakshmi, the head of xenobiology, burst into the command center clutching a datapad. Her usually impeccable lab coat was wrinkled, her hair disheveled. "Commander, you need to see this," she said, her voice trembling with excitement or fear. Chen couldn't tell which. "We've been analyzing the data from the Arcturus campaign. During the Battle of Point 7, when our fleet was nearly wiped out by the Drachnid ambush, something happened. Something impossible." The doctor's fingers flew over the holographic controls, bringing up a series of brain scans. For a fraction of a second, every human pilot in the fleet synchronized. Not just their actions, their actual neural patterns aligned. The effect rippled through our entire battle group, even affecting crews on ships thousands of kilometers apart. Admiral Zhu's image leaned forward. "Are you saying our people linked minds?" "Not exactly," Dr. Lakshmi replied. "It's more like they became a single system. The efficiency was off the charts. That's why we were able to turn the battle around. But that's not all." She pulled up another file. "We found references to similar events throughout human history. Moments when groups of humans faced with extinction-level threats suddenly demonstrated impossible levels of coordination." Chen felt a chill run down her spine. "And the Council knows about this." "They've always known," Dr. Lakshmi said quietly. "There are records, old records. The Council has been watching humanity for far longer than we realized. They saw this potential in us before we ever reached the stars. The command center fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity wasn't being banned from the war because they were weak or unreliable. They were being banned because they were too dangerous. Commander Chen straightened her uniform and faced her staff. Send word to all Earth Defense Force units. Full alert status, but take no aggressive actions. And get me a secure channel to the United Earth government. They need to know what we found. As her officers rushed to comply, Chen turned back to the viewport. The sun had set, leaving Tokyo's skyline glittering against the darkness. Somewhere up there, council ships were watching, waiting to see how humanity would react to their declaration. They're right to be afraid, she murmured to herself, but they made one crucial mistake. She touched the ancient document's text glowing in her neural feed. They showed their hand too soon. The pieces were in motion now. The truth about humanity's potential was finally emerging from the shadows. And Commander Sarah Chen had a feeling that the galaxy's attempt to contain humanity was about to backfire spectacularly. The Awakening. Dr. Maya Lakshmi's laboratory deep beneath Mount Fuji hummed with activity. Holographic displays filled the air with cascading data streams, each showing different aspects of human neural patterns during moments of crisis. Commander Chen watched as the scientist manipulated the images with practiced gestures, expanding and collapsing complex networks of light. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" Maya said, not looking up from her work. "All these years, we thought we were studying individual responses to stress. We never thought to look at the spaces between." The largest display showed a time-lapse of human brain activity during the Battle of Point 7. Thousands of distinct neural patterns pulsed like stars, then suddenly aligned into a single, brilliant constellation. "How did we miss this?" Chen asked, studying the patterns. Maya's fingers danced through the hologram, pulling out specific data strands. "Because it shouldn't be possible. Quantum entanglement between neurons only works at microscopic scales, under controlled conditions. But somehow, during moments of extreme crisis, humans can achieve it across vast distances." Lieutenant Patil entered the lab, his uniform showing signs of the sleepless nights they'd all been enduring. "Commander, we've detected more council ships entering the solar system. They're establishing a quarantine perimeter." Chen nodded, unsurprised. "They're making sure we can't interfere with their war. Have they made any aggressive moves?" "No, Mom. But we're picking up massive amounts of scan activity. They're watching everything we do." Maya suddenly straightened, her eyes wide. "That's it, Commander. Look at this." She pulled up a new set of data, this time showing neural patterns from throughout human history. The Council didn't just recently discover this ability. They've been monitoring its development for centuries. The display showed incidents from Earth's past: the Great Fire of London, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Mars colony disaster. In each case, there were faint but unmistakable signs of neural synchronization among the humans involved. "But something's changed," Maya continued, her voice growing excited. "The frequency and strength of these events have been increasing exponentially over the past decade. The Battle of Point 7 wasn't an anomaly, it was a breakthrough." Chen felt a familiar chill run down her spine. "They're not quarantining us to protect their war. They're containing us because we're evolving." The lab's door slid open again, admitting Admiral Zhao's holographic form. "Commander, we've managed to decrypt more of the ancient council records. You need to see this." New data flooded the displays: star charts, genetic sequences, and text in dozens of alien languages. But at the center was an image that made Chen's breath catch: a DNA helix unlike anything she'd seen before, wrapped in what looked like quantum probability fields. "This is from the original survey of Earth," Zhao explained, his hologram flickering slightly. "Long before we developed civilization, the Council found something in our genetic code, a potential they'd never seen before, a capacity for collective consciousness." Maya's hands trembled as she examined the data. "They've known all along. Our entire development as a species has been monitored, guided, contained." "But why?" Patil asked. What are they so afraid of? Chen's attention was drawn to a small notation in the corner of the genetic diagram. She enhanced it, and ancient symbols resolved into clear text. Warning: species exhibits characteristics similar to the precursors. The precursors, Maya whispered. I thought they were a myth. Every species has legends about them, Zhao said. An ancient race that achieved such perfect unity of consciousness that they transcended physical form. The Council's oldest records speak of them with fear and awe. Chen's mind raced with the implications, and they think we have the same potential. A sudden alarm cut through the lab's quiet. Patel rushed to a security terminal. Commander, we're detecting massive energy signatures from the Council ships. They're powering up their weapons. Get me Fleet Command, Chen ordered, but the words had barely left her mouth when every screen in the lab went dark. When they reactivated, they showed a single message: Omega Protocol initiated. Maya's face went pale. Commander, look at the neural activity monitors. The displays showing human brain patterns had changed. Across the planet, billions of human minds were beginning to resonate at the same frequency. The quarantine hadn't just trapped humanity. It had created the very conditions needed for their collective consciousness to emerge. They're not trying to stop us from fighting their war, Chen realized, watching the patterns shift and align. They're trying to prevent us from becoming something they can't control. As if in response to her words, the neural patterns pulsed brighter. And for a moment, everyone in the lab felt it. A whisper of connection. A glimpse of what humanity might become. Admiral Zhu's hologram flickered again. Commander, whatever we're going to do, we need to do it fast. The Council ships are taking up attack positions. Chen looked at the displays, watching humanity's collective consciousness begin to awaken. The Council's worst fears were coming true, but not in the way they'd expected. They hadn't contained humanity. They'd catalyzed its evolution. Send word to all Earth Defense Force units, she ordered, her voice steady. Tell them it's time to show the galaxy what humanity can really do. The protocol. Space rippled around Earth as the Council ships tightened their quarantine net. In the depths of the Mount Fuji facility, Commander Chen watched the tactical display with growing concern. The Council's fleet had grown to over 500 vessels, their weapons primed and ready. But it was another display that held most of her attention: the Global Neural Activity Monitor. Billions of human minds were beginning to resonate in harmony, creating patterns of consciousness that defied conventional physics. The Omega Protocol, meant to contain humanity, was instead accelerating their awakening. Commander, Maya's voice was tense as she worked at her station. I've managed to decrypt more of the precursor data. The Council didn't just fear them, they were in awe of them. The precursors could shape reality through collective consciousness alone. Admiral Zhu's hologram appeared, his expression grave. The Council archives mention a great war, eons ago. The precursors didn't fight with ships or weapons. They fought with thought itself. Entire star systems were transformed by their collective will. And they think we can do the same, Chen said, watching the neural patterns shift and pulse. A new alert flashed across the tactical display. Lieutenant Patel's voice was sharp with urgency. Multiple quantum signatures detected. More Council ships incoming. These are different. Ancient design patterns. They're activating something in orbit. The facility's lights flickered as massive energy readings scrambled their sensors. Above Earth, geometric patterns of light began to form between the Council ships, creating a complex web of quantum fields. It's a containment matrix, Maya gasped, analyzing the readings. They're trying to isolate Earth from the rest of space-time. Chen's neural implant suddenly burned with activity. New data was flooding in, but not from any conventional source. The awakening human consciousness was beginning to access information stored in the quantum fabric of space itself. Echoes of the precursor's own memories. Images flashed through her mind. Ancient battles fought with thought, civilizations rising and falling, and finally, a choice. The precursors hadn't vanished. They had chosen to scatter their consciousness throughout the cosmos, seeding countless species with the potential to evolve as they had. They're not just afraid of what we might become, Chen realized, her voice barely a whisper. They're afraid of what we already are. We're the precursor's legacy. The facility shuddered as the containment matrix began to take effect. Outside, the sky was turning strange colors as fundamental forces were warped and twisted. Admiral Zhu's hologram stabilized, his face showing rare emotion. "Commander, we're receiving reports from across the planet. People everywhere are experiencing memories, knowledge, things they couldn't possibly know." Maya's hands flew over her controls, correlating data. The neural synchronization is accelerating. It's not just connecting humans to each other. It's connecting us to the quantum information the precursors left behind. The Council's containment field is actually focusing the effect. Another tremor shook the facility. Patel's voice came over the comm. "Commander, the Council ships are broadcasting a message. They're demanding our immediate surrender and submission to neural dampening procedures." Chen closed her eyes, feeling the growing connection between all of humanity. The precursors' memories were becoming clearer, not just their power, but their wisdom, their understanding of the responsibility that came with such ability. "They made this choice before," she said, opening her eyes. "The precursors could have dominated the galaxy, shaped it to their will. Instead, they chose to seed their potential throughout countless species, trusting that evolution would bring forth their capabilities naturally. And now we have to make the same choice," Maya said quietly. The tactical display showed more Council ships arriving every moment. The containment matrix was nearly complete. They had minutes at most before Earth would be cut off from the rest of the universe. Chen straightened, her decision made. "Broadcast on all frequencies, all languages. Tell the Council we understand now. We understand why they feared the precursors, and why they fear us. But we're not going to follow either path, domination or surrender." "What are we going to do?" Patil asked. A small smile crossed Chen's face as she felt the collective consciousness of humanity crystallize into a single clear purpose. "We're going to show them what humanity has learned from both our own history and the precursors' memories. We're going to show them why evolution chose us to inherit this power." The containment matrix reached its final stage, energy levels climbing to impossible levels. But as it did, something unexpected happened. The neural patterns of humanity's collective consciousness began to resonate with the quantum fields themselves. "They thought they could contain us," Chen said, watching the displays. "But they didn't realize. You can't contain an idea. You can't quarantine evolution itself." As if in response to her words, the collective consciousness of humanity reached out, not to destroy or dominate, but to share understanding, to show the Council why the precursors had chosen this path, and what it truly meant to wield the power of unified thought. The battle for humanity's future was entering its final phase, but it wouldn't be fought with weapons. It would be fought with something far more powerful, the choice between fear and understanding, between control and cooperation. And humanity was ready to show the galaxy exactly why the precursors had chosen them as their heirs. The resistance. The containment matrix blazed across Earth's sky like a second sun, its quantum fields distorting the very fabric of space-time. But within the Mount Fuji facility, Commander Chen felt an extraordinary calm. Humanity's collective consciousness had reached a critical point, and with it came an understanding that transcended fear. "Energy readings are off the charts," Maya reported, her voice steady despite the facility's constant tremors. "The Council's containment field is creating a quantum resonance effect we've never seen before. But instead of suppressing our neural connection, it's amplifying it." Admiral Zhu's hologram flickered as he studied the tactical displays. "The Council ships are detecting it too. Their formation is changing. They're backing away." Chen nodded, feeling the shift in the collective consciousness. They're beginning to understand what they've done. The containment field isn't just trapping us. It's creating a lens, focusing humanity's awakening consciousness into something new. Lieutenant Patel's voice came over the comm, tight with excitement. Commander, we're receiving reports from ships across the solar system. The quantum resonance is affecting everyone, even crews in the outer colonies. The neural synchronization is spreading faster than we thought possible. Through her neural implant, Chen could feel it. Billions of minds joining together, not in panic or fear, but in a symphony of understanding. The precursor's memories, encoded in the quantum fabric of space, were becoming clearer with each passing moment. They were right to fear this power, she said softly, but they were wrong about how we would use it. Maya's screen suddenly lit up with new data. Commander, look at this. The containment field. We're not just resonating with it. We're beginning to shape it. The tactical display showed the impossible. The quantum fields making up the containment matrix were shifting, responding to humanity's collective will. Not fighting against the Council's technology, but working with it, transforming it into something entirely new. Send a message to the Council fleet, Chen ordered. Show them what we're doing. Let them see that we're not trying to break free or fight back. We're offering something else entirely. Through the quantum resonance, humanity began to share not just thoughts, but understanding. The precursor's memories showed countless civilizations rising and falling, each trying to dominate through force. But they also showed another path. The power of unified consciousness used not for control, but for connection. Admiral Zhou's hologram stabilized as he received new reports. The Council ships, they're detecting changes in their own crews. The quantum resonance is affecting them too. Not controlling them, but offering them a choice. Chen smiled. The precursors didn't just seed humanity with this potential. They seeded it throughout the galaxy. We're just the first to awaken to it fully. And now we can help others do the same. The facility shuddered again, but this time it wasn't from the containment field. The very structure of space-time around Earth was beginning to respond to humanity's collective consciousness, not in chaos, but in harmony. Multiple Council ships are powering down their weapons, Patel reported, his voice filled with wonder. They're requesting direct communication, not through conventional channels, but through the quantum resonance itself. Maya's hands flew over her controls, correlating the data. The neural patterns are stabilizing. We're not just connecting with each other anymore. We're creating a bridge, a way for different species to share consciousness without losing their individuality. Through her neural implant, Shen felt the first tentative connections forming between human minds and alien consciousness. Not invasion or control, but a sharing of understanding. The Council's greatest fear, that humanity would become like the precursors, was being transformed into something they had never imagined. They thought the precursor's power could only be used for dominance, Chen said, watching the containment matrix transform into a network of communication and connection. They never considered that evolution might have a different plan. Admiral Zhou's hologram showed him smiling for the first time in days. The Council's war, with this level of shared consciousness, it becomes meaningless. You can't fight someone when you truly understand them. The quantum resonance continued to grow, spreading throughout the solar system and beyond. Humanity had not broken the Council's containment. They had transformed it into a gift, a way to bridge the gaps between species that had kept the galaxy divided for so long. Send word to all Earth forces, Chen ordered, feeling the growing harmony of consciousness around her. Tell them that humanity's ban from the Galactic War is now irrelevant. We're not going to fight in their conflict. We're going to end it. As if in response to her words, the quantum fields pulsed with new energy. The Council's attempt to contain humanity had instead unleashed their true potential, not as conquerors or destroyers, but as bridges between consciousness, awakening the legacy the precursors had left sleeping in all sapient life. The resolution. The transformed containment matrix shimmered across Earth's sky, no longer a prison but a bridge between minds. In the Mount Fuji facility, Commander Chen stood before the tactical display, watching as the quantum resonance spread across the galaxy like ripples in a cosmic pond. The Council's Grand Assembly is requesting access to the quantum network, Lieutenant Puddle reported, his voice filled with quiet awe. Not just their military forces, their civilian leadership wants to understand what we've created. Maya's monitors showed the expanding web of consciousness, species after species joining the harmonious exchange of thought and understanding. It's beautiful, she breathed. The precursors didn't vanish. They didn't die out. This was their plan all along, to seed the galaxy with the potential for true unity. Admiral Zhu's hologram appeared, more stable now as the quantum field strengthened the connection. Reports are coming in from across known space. The war, it's ending. Not through victory or defeat, but through understanding. When you can feel what your enemy feels, conflict becomes impossible. Chen nodded, feeling the truth of it through the collective consciousness. The Council banned us from their war because they feared we would become too powerful. Instead, we've made war itself obsolete. The facility hummed with energy as new data poured in. The quantum resonance had awakened something in every spacefaring species, the dormant potential the precursors had left within their genetic code. But humanity's unique development had made them the key to unlocking it. "Commander," Maya called out, her screens filled with new readings. "The Council archives. We can access them all now. The precursors didn't just seed us with this potential. They left a message, encoded in the quantum fabric of space itself." The message unfurled in Chen's mind through her neural implant, ancient wisdom crystallizing into understanding. The precursors had faced a choice: use their power to rule the galaxy, or transform it into something greater. They chose to scatter their consciousness across countless species, trusting that evolution would eventually bring forth their true vision. They knew it would take billions of years, Chen said softly. They knew that species would rise and fall, that there would be wars and conflicts. But they also knew that eventually, one species would awaken to their full potential and choose the path of unity over dominance. Lieutenant Patel's voice carried renewed purpose. "The Council ships, they're forming a new configuration, not a containment pattern, but it's like they're trying to amplify the quantum network." Through the collective consciousness, Chen felt the shift in the Council's understanding. Their fear of humanity's potential had transformed into hope. The very ships that had come to contain Earth were now helping to spread its gift across the stars. "The war that the Council banned us from," Maya said, studying the incoming data, "it wasn't just about territory or resources. It was the final test. The moment when a species would either choose to dominate through force or transform through understanding." Admiral Zhu's hologram smiled, and humanity chose transformation. The quantum resonance reached a new level of harmony. Through the collective consciousness, Chen could feel the changes rippling through every connected species. Old hatreds dissolved in the light of shared understanding. Ancient conflicts lost their meaning as minds touched minds across the vast distances of space. "Send a message to all Earth forces," Chen ordered, her voice carrying the weight of this historic moment. "Tell them that humanity's role in the galaxy has been revealed. We're not warriors or conquerors. We're not even just peacekeepers. We're the bridge that the precursors prepared for over billions of years. The key to awakening the full potential of all conscious life." The containment matrix, now transformed into a network of connection, pulsed with new energy. What had begun as an attempt to isolate humanity had become the foundation of a new era in galactic history. Maya's screen showed the quantum network expanding exponentially. "It's not just about sharing thoughts or memories," she realized. "It's about evolving consciousness itself. Every species that joins the network adds something unique, making it richer, more complex." "The Council banned us from their war," Chen said, watching the tactical display show the final Council warships powering down their weapons. "But in doing so, they helped us fulfill our true purpose. The precursors didn't want us to fight in the galaxy's conflicts. They wanted us to end them." Through the quantum resonance, she felt the acknowledgement of billions of minds, human and alien alike. The age of isolation and fear was ending. A new era was beginning, one where consciousness flowed freely between stars, where understanding bridged the gaps between species, and where the true potential of all sapient life could finally be realized. The hidden reason for humanity's ban from galactic warfare had been revealed. They were never meant to be soldiers in another species' war. They were meant to be the catalyst that transformed the galaxy's understanding of what consciousness could achieve. As the quantum network stabilized, connecting minds across thousands of light years, Commander Chen smiled. The Council's greatest fear, that humanity would follow in the precursor's footsteps, had come true, but not in the way anyone had expected. They had become not conquerors of the galaxy, but its awakeners, fulfilling a plan set in motion billions of years ago by a species wise enough to trust in the power of evolution and the potential for unity in all conscious life.